Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Warner Brothers again. Apparently they have rejected the Paramount offer. They had some words, I guess, for them. They kind of laughed at them, I think. They laughed at them.
Well, no, they just basically, they rejected it. They said that it wasn't, the board is recommending that the shareholders reject it, but basically it means they rejected it.
Yeah.
They said the Netflix deal was better, as far as for the shareholders and for the company over the Paramount deal, and people aren't happy about it, I'm sure. But then you have like the cinema organizations, and they're not happy either way. So we're going to talk about all of this.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about James Gunn, too. James Gunn is kind of like, he's okay with Netflix buying Warner Brothers, but he's even unsure what the future of DC is going to be. So this isn't just speculation coming from the alt-right chuds. This is James Gunn himself being like, yeah, I hope I'm still around. I don't know what's going to happen. So let's talk about all this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV. Yeah, there you go. So,
okay. All
right. So this comes from CNBC, which is now owned by, Versant or whatever, the spinoff of Comcast. And they're crashing and burning. Their stock's really, really bad. But Warner Brothers once again rejects Paramount offer in favor of a Netflix deal. Paramount Skydance has guaranteed the backing of billionaire Larry Ellison in the hostile offer for Warner Brothers, but has fallen short. Warner Brothers has rebuffed Paramount's interest in prior offers, and during the official process, they don't want your money. They don't want your money. Warner has entered into an agreement to sell its streaming and studio business to Netflix. Paramount has been vying to acquire the entirety of Warner Brothers. So that's what's really interesting. But they said the Warner Brothers board, said continued to believe the Paramount bid is inferior to the previously announced deal with Netflix to buy Warner Brothers studio and streaming business for $72. We signed a merger agreement with Netflix. It's a compelling value, a clear path to closing, and protections for our shareholders if something stops the close, whatever that might be. Trump.
Well, here's the thing too. Like with the Paramount deal, they were saying they were going to give like how much money they were offering as if it didn't go through, but they wanted a non-binding agreement, so they could at any point say, hey, we changed our mind and be out. And then at 18 months later, Warner Brothers were going to spin off Discovery into its own thing. I think a lot of this is because they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to keep the Discovery as their own streaming, but then sell off everything else to Netflix, and then they still have something to control. And with the deal that Paramount is offering, they want all of it, and they want to spin that off into their own separate thing. And I think it's just a combination of things, but it would stall it out for 18 months. And then if Paramount would decide, nope, we changed our mind, they could just stop them, in their tracks, and they'd be 18 months down the road and have to start all over again.
Yeah.
That was part of it. Also, they brought up the fact, which I have it here on my blog in front of me, they brought up the fact that, it's not a very good deal because they're worried about the fact that Paramount Skydance has a lot of debt already. They said that it's a company with $14 billion market capitalization, attempting acquisition requiring about $95 billion in debt and equity financing, nearly 7 times its total market capitalization. So basically, they're going to take on debt that's 7 times what they're worth. I said the effect of the transaction intends to incur an extraordinary amount of incremental debt, more than $50 billion, through arrangements made with multiple financing partners who they argued before could also say, hey, we want to sell this part off and that part off and this part off to try to make up extra money, and they're worried it's going to screw people over.
Yeah, well, I think people are going to get screwed over regardless of who gets that. Now, I do believe that they are going to, I could be wrong, but I think they're going to have a hard time getting this one through, because I think Trump is going to Trump, and he's going to try to stop it because he wants his buddies to have it.
That might be the case, but then that's overstepping, because Paramount, if there was an issue here, the issue should be with Paramount, not with Netflix, if you're being fair, because Paramount already has a studio. They just got Skydance, they just got Paramount, right? Yeah. So they already got all that stuff with streaming services and things like that. Yeah. Netflix is just a streaming service. They don't have the film studios and stuff. Now, to be fair, Netflix, I think, is going to say we're going to put it in theaters, and they will with a 17-day window for a couple years, and then they'll just say nope, we're just going to put it on streaming, or because that's where everybody's at, or change it that you pay for like almost like VOD, where you pay a set amount, maybe even, and you get to watch it on Netflix or something like that instead of going to theaters.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, guys, what are you worried about? It's gonna be fine." They said that for now they're not going to change anything. I'm like, "Yeah, well, what happens a year or two from now?"
Yeah, they said for the way it was said, it was stated, it's not like a long term.
No, and even James Gunn is kind of like, I'm not sure what's going to happen. So this is coming from Variety. Cinema United warns Warner Brothers sale will hurt movie business. Theaters will close. Communities will suffer. Jobs will be lost.
Yeah, but they don't want it either way, though. They're like, they don't want it sold to Netflix, but they don't want it sold to Paramount either.
Because right-wingers, yeah.
Well, not just that. It's just because they don't want either or. They think both are going to be bad. But what's your answer then? I'm sorry. I mean, maybe theatrical is a dying model. And I hate to say it, but it might be a dying model. If people don't need to go to theaters anymore, and it's so expensive, why would they? So but they don't want it either way. If you read what they said.
Yeah, and we will, but I'm just like, I don't understand what your solution is, because people...
I don't either.
Where's the money coming from, right? I mean, this is always the plan. It's weird. Apparently, we called the Netflix sale like 2 years ago on a video. We said eventually they'll probably just sell Warner Brothers to like a Netflix.
I think you did, and I think I laughed. It's like, oh, I don't think so. And here we are.
People bring it up because we start getting all these comments on an old video, and somebody dug it up that we said that's probably the logical.
No, I think it was you who said it. I'm pretty sure you said that. And I probably said, no, I don't think so.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
It seems so weird. Like, it didn't seem like something that Netflix would want.
Well, they said for a while they didn't want a studio. I'm still hearing rumblings that Apple might be interested in Disney. So I don't know.
I know you're hearing about that from people who would have inside knowledge. But anyway.
So there you go, guys. You put a pin in that one. We'll see where we're at in a year.
They've been saying that for years, though.
Oh yeah.
But Iyer came from, he was on the Apple board and everything.
Very good relationship with Apple. Yes.
He had them help them call it Apple Plus, and then called it Disney Plus, and he thought that Steve Jobs was the best thing ever, and.
Yeah, so we'll see. They're the only ones that have the. So basically, what's going to happen is that the tech companies and entertainment are going to merge, and that's it. And that's going to be a huge blow for Hollywood, because Hollywood and Silicon Valley, entertainment. Mm-hmm. That's what it's going to be, though. I mean, this is kind of what happened with cable and streaming and telecommunications. Your phone companies and your mobile companies used to be two different things. Like you had your landline, and then you had your mobile phone, and now that's no longer a thing. Does anybody remember Ma Bell? No, you probably don't. You probably don't remember Bell Telephone at all.
I remember Bell.
Yeah, I remember they had to be broken up too, because they were too big. Anyway, Cinema United told Congress on Wednesday it has concerns about the sale of Warner Brothers, arguing that losing a major studio will result in fewer movies, job losses, and theater closures. In a letter to the House Judiciary Subcommittee on the Administrative State, Regulatory Reform, and Antitrust, the exception industry trade group focused much of its attention on the threat that Netflix could pose to their business, noting the streaming service's skepticism about cinema. We're deeply concerned that this acquisition of Warner Brothers by Netflix will have a direct and irreversible negative impact on movie theaters around the world. Yeah. Such an acquisition will further consolidate control over productions and distribution of motion pictures in the hands of a single dominant global streaming platform in a market that's already highly concentrated. The impact will not only be felt by theater owners, but by movie fans and surrounding businesses and communities of all sizes. Yeah,
they're afraid that it's going to take out the theaters. Well, the theaters are already almost toast anyway, for being honest. But that's what Hollywood's afraid of too. They're afraid there's going to be less movies. And then you're like, well, why does it matter? Because if they're still making movies for streaming, why does it matter? Well, I think it matters in the fact that actors and celebrities in Hollywood is usually with movies, part of their pay is with residuals and how well the movie does. And if it does really well, they get extra money. Well, if it's not going to theatrical, unless they're doing a model in some way that they can still, find a way to calculate that via streaming, it's going to be like the Scarlett Johansson Disney situation again, and they're not going to have all that extra residual pay that they count on, the agencies count on their cut for, and then guarantee that's a big part of why they're like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's not because they want to see theaters survive. It's more because they want more money.
They want their cut.
In my opinion.
They talked about how Ted Sarandos, Netflix, said he would honor the studio's existing theatrical commitments. So this is very
existing. Next year or two, yes.
Yet he couched that, arguing the time windows, industry parlance for the amount of time movies play exclusively in theaters will evolve in a way that is more consumer friendly. So they're talking 17-day windows. And this is coming from the trades. This is coming from the Hollywood trades. It's not somebody pulling it out of their ass. This is coming from the Hollywood trades. They have a reason to believe that Ted Sarandos will be like, you know what? Screw movie theaters. We're just going to go, the new Batman movie. Yeah, it's just coming to streaming. Or like you said, you pay $30 and you can watch Batman.
That's VOD, but I'm just saying, I can't think they would. I just don't understand why you just take something, because there's a finite number of subscribers, right? So the only two options you'd have if you get Warner Brothers is to, and then the new movies coming out would be either to jack subscriptions significantly, like, oh, you pay this much a month, but you get to see new releases that would be normally in theaters. You get to see them included in your subscription, or turn around and charge per movie. Like, well, you want to see this one, you would have seen it in theaters, you can pay us to see it at home, but you're going to pay this much more.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting because they're talking. They think that the average Netflix movie in theater is like 11 to 17 days. That's kind of with Amazon Prime too. Like they'll release movies in the theater and then they're on Prime like almost immediately or same day or whatever, and they're just going to train people to stay home and watch movies. Because why does Netflix care? I mean, other than to try to stay in the good graces of Hollywood, why do they care where the movies play if they can make more money? If they calculate it and they realize they can make more money by picking up more subs, watching Batman. I just don't see how
you can. I mean, I guess because you have to split it with the theaters and stuff anyway. And this way,
you do
all of it. But you'd have to find a way to monetize it, like I said, because subscribers are finite. And you might get a boost. They're going to have to raise prices or charge to offset this cost.
They're going to charge. I guarantee you what they're going to do is they're going to be like, why are we sharing with the theaters? We're the biggest streaming platform. We charge $30 and you can watch Batman at home and you don't have to go to the theater.
Well, you don't have to split it. So they can even charge less and make it look like a better deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and they're
$15.
still profiting, they're still profiting.
Or they could do like a Netflix, like AMC has the AMC movie rewards or whatever it is. They could do that. They could do like Netflix Plus, like, okay, $100 a month, you get all of our new Warner Brothers releases.
That's what I'm saying. They could just do an extra tier, that you get. I mean, that's awfully high. But you know what I'm
just saying, that's what they're going to do and how they'll sell it to the consumer. Hey, it's a lot of work to go to the movies, especially if you're married with kids and you got to find a babysitter and you got
and where you go when you get there, you have to pay for tickets and food.
Right.
You can go to the dollar store and buy the same candy and just have it at your home with popcorn, with your own popcorn, and call it a day.
Well, there you go, Netflix. Okay, so you know how you used to send discs to people's houses? Just send them a loot crate full of movie theater snacks every month.
Oh,
and they can watch their movies
upcharge,
for an upcharge.
I don't think they want to do that shipping thing anymore, which is why I stopped. But
no, but they don't want to share. Netflix.
But then side companies could pop up that would offer that kind of stuff. Oh, you're going to be watching these movies on, if you still want cool popcorn buckets and stuff, you could order them through us, kind of thing. But
I don't know. I'm just saying. I can once this thing goes through, they will honor their existing commitments. If they've already committed to releasing a movie in the theater. But I think the all bets are off after that 2-year honeymoon period. I think in 3 years the new normal could be like, you Netflix and chill at home and you can go buy your freaking 96-inch TV, mega TV or whatever at Walmart and just sit at home and watch movies.
Yeah.
So this is James Gunn, and they're like, oh, James Gunn is going to save Warner. He's gonna release the DC movies and he's gonna kick ass, and you're not allowed to criticize James Gunn movies. Did you notice that? You're not allowed to criticize his movies at all.
Oh well, we'll criticize all we want.
Anyway, but they had him on Variety's Awards Chatter podcast. He discussed the deal. He said, which is far from official as it needs to clear regulatory approval. Trump. He said, in any case, Gunn naturally has thoughts on the matter. I really don't. He initially replied when asked if he had any hopes for where things land with the Netflix Warner Brothers deal. He basically just hopes he still has work, I think, is where it lands. The executive and filmmaker then expanded upon his feelings, saying everything's unknown. I think that's all really exciting, frankly, so I hope and pray for the best. I've been through these sorts of changes so many times that, be careful what you wish for because you don't really know until you know. I hope it goes well. Every direction has really exciting things for DC, so I'm excited about where it's going to go. They said the future of DC Studios beyond his announced projects are in limbo right now. So we have Supergirl and Superman 2, and then the Batman 2, apparently. But they said beyond that, it's dicey. After Batman Part 2, Netflix would be firmly in control of Warner Brothers, assuming the deal closes. In the meantime, Gunn, Safran, and Warner Brothers have to operate as though the DCU will move forward as planned. At some point, however, Netflix will come into play. They said little has been revealed of their plans, but the company would like to keep movies in theaters for much shorter windows. So I mean, it's up in the air too. I mean, I think it depends on whether or not it makes more money for them to drop these movies in theaters or turn them into streaming shows or whatever. I mean, maybe Netflix will decide that, Supergirl should be a black lesbian in a wheelchair. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, Netflix, you never know what you're going to get with Netflix.
You never know what you're going to get with Netflix. Yeah,
they are trying to walk it back, I think, though. So
a little bit. They are. And I think it comes down to viewers revolting, basically, and being like, we're not going to watch your shit if you change it all. But I think James Gunn will be fine regardless. I don't know if his movies will be in the theater, but I think he'll be all right. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.